Welcome back to the 5 p.m. podcast, everyone. I'm Tina.
And I'm Dan. And Tina, I've been diving deep into something pretty fascinating. Canada's moves in the AI world, specifically how they're teaming up with Europe.
Oh, I've been hearing bits and pieces about this. It seems like Canada's really trying to make a name for itself in AI, right? Not just following the US or the EU, but kind of finding its own path?
Exactly. That's what's so interesting. They're like the AI diplomat almost. Prime Minister Trudeau has been in Paris and Brussels chatting about AI partnerships. It's like they're trying to take the best of both worlds. The US's let's innovate fast approach, and the EU's let's be careful and ethical approach.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not just about building cool AI gadgets, but also about how times they're built and used?
Precisely. And that's where the pan-Canadian AI strategy comes in. This is their big plan, throwing almost $500 million at AI research and development.
$500 million? Wow, that's a serious commitment. Where's all that money going, though?
Well, a big chunk goes to these 3 AI institutes, AMI, Mila, and the Vector Institute. They're like the Avengers of Canadian AI research. They're not just doing theoretical stuff. They're pushing for commercialization, setting standards, and training the next generation of AI experts.
So turning research into real-world applications, like, what kind of applications are we talking about?
Think healthcare diagnostics, climate modeling, even things like optimizing supply chains. There was a report I was reading the other day of a case study. Vector Institute's Healthcare Diagnostics Accelerator reduced provincial healthcare wait times. Pretty impressive.
That times impressive. So it's not just about economic benefits, but also improving people's lives.
Right. And it's not just happening in a vacuum. Canada's part of this thing called the Global Partnership on AI, or GPAI.
GPAI. Sounds important. What's that all about?
It's basically a group of countries working together to make sure AI is developed responsibly. Think of it like setting the rules of the road for AI globally.
So Canada's not just building its own AI ecosystem, but also trying to influence how AI is developed around the world?
Exactly. And they've even signed this agreement with the Council of Europe, focusing on human rights in AI. It's a big deal because it shows they're serious about ethical AI.
Okay, so aligning with European values, which are generally more focused on privacy and ethics than, say, the US approach.
Precisely. And to top it all off, in their latest budget 2024, they announced another $2.40 times billion for AI.
Whoa, that's even more serious money. So what's the plan for that?
It's mostly for building up the infrastructure for AI, the computing power, the data centers, that sort of thing, and also for helping businesses, especially smaller ones, adopt AI.
So making sure everyone can benefit from AI, not just the big tech companies?
That's the idea. It's about boosting jobs, productivity, and making sure AI is used responsibly.
It sounds great in theory, but are there any downsides? Any concerns?
Of course. There's always a balancing act. Some people worry that too many regulations might stifle innovation. Make it harder for Canadian companies to compete.
Right, the classic innovation versus regulation debate.
Exactly. And there are also concerns about biases in AI, making sure the AI systems are fair and don't discriminate.
That's a huge issue. How is Canada addressing that?
Well, that's part of what these international agreements are about, setting standards to detect and prevent biases. And the AI institutes are also doing research on that.
It's a complex issue, and it sounds like Canada is taking a multi-pronged approach, investing in research, collaborating internationally, and trying to balance innovation with ethical concerns.
That's it in a nutshell. They're really trying to carve out a unique position for themselves in the global AI landscape.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Thanks for breaking it down, Dan. I'm beginning to understanding this better now.
My pleasure, Tina. It's an exiting field with so many future considerations.
And that's all the time we have for today. Join us next time on the 5 p.m. podcast.